Material information and presentation is for educational or entertainment purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice or recommendation. Any and all statements made on this channel are the sole opinions of Options Millionaire channel and should not be taken as financial advice. No financial decision should be made based on the material shown here on this channel. Trading futures, equities, options involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Any investment could lose potentially all or more of the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security nor lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Trading is one of the most riskiest and difficult tasks one can undertake. It must be approached with extreme caution. Do not invest in money you cannot afford to lose. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. I got to turn my music down here. I was rocking out. All right. Bookmap. We'll start out. This is the Bookmap stream, of course, so we will talk about Bookmap. 43.90 is starting to build. Now, that's not the biggest level on there. Biggest level is 43.75 currently on the close term. Now, they are stacking lower. We just put on 43.80. They have 43.82 that came on earlier. 43.75, 43.65, 43.50. 43.75 has been on for about 2.5 weeks now. Everything else is building today. Up above, we have 4,400 that keeps coming on and off. That's a typical 0-0 level. That's a normal thing. Above that, we have 44.20. They did have 44.40 earlier, but they took that off. That's no longer there. So the only thing we've got really to talk about is 44.20. So that's the Bookmap structure. Everything is definitely pulling lower. CVD is oscillating around neutral. The options flow is about neutral. There's not really any call buying or put buying currently, which is why we've had a bit of a choppy reaction. Although downward trending, we've been downward trending since FOMC yesterday. It hasn't let up. I would say we took about a 3-4 hour reprieve and went sideways from 9 o'clock at night until 2 in the morning. But everything else has been downward trend. We are holding just under the morning low. Right here on 434.02, we're holding just under that level. Oh, I posted the wrong link, didn't I? Yeah, I did. My apologies. Let me delete that. Delete. Un momento, por favor. I'll get you the right link. As soon as my computer loads it. There you go. There's the correct one. All right, good. What's up, Jason? How you doing, buddy? Now let's take a look at the price action, and let me know if you're on here, Grasshopper. I want to make sure you hear this. Sweet. All right, so in terms of price action, if I am looking for 44.20, and let's put up, I'll bring up ES here. 44.20 is that liquidity on Bookmap that's right there. I'm also going to put the morning low on here, which is here. That's the morning low. That's the morning high. I'm going to make that blue because that's how I do it. Okay. So we're under the morning low. If I want to start looking for a move to come back up to tack this morning high area and this liquidity, which is almost co-altitude, they're about the same. If I want to start seeing this, I need to see signs of accumulation to go back higher. Now we are seeing some bottom wicks. We have bottom wick, some periods of bottom wick, and if you look out on the 15-minute chart, it becomes a little bit more clear in terms of where the bottom wicks are. However, every bottom wick is met with top wicks all the way down, heavily top wicked all the way down. So, as I'm seeing it now, I don't have any signs of accumulation yet. Because in order to get accumulation, I need bottom wicks with at least one uptick in volume. I'll need to see, I'm in a Bob Ross mood today, so I'm a little colorful. So I need to see this to the upside. Now, if I'm looking for distribution, I think is what you're talking about, distribution, What we need is that players are shifting this market lower. And they can't do it all at once, because if they do it too much too fast, it'll scare the market. And that's what we're looking for, is transaction lower. And actually, if we're looking at the charts, we don't even have any signs of high volume yet. In fact, yesterday was a relatively low volume day. Considering it was FOMC and we dropped, what, 60 points or so? It was a low volume day. So we haven't even gotten the true distribution blow down yet. Now, if I'm looking for going downside here, I need to see that exactly what we're seeing. I need to see the sellers still maintaining the tape and pushing into demand. So think about it this way. I'm still learning this stupid thing. Where's my stupid square, stupid thing, stupid. All right. So if this is demand, and I'm going to make that green because buyers exist in demand. So if this is demand, yeah, I know you understand that now, but I'm still going to keep on explaining it. So, yeah. So as we continue to push in here, I need to see the sellers enter into this area and start to absorb, pushing on the buyers. I need to make sure that the sellers are still providing pressure as they keep on entering into this demand, and then finally we'll have that breach. Act like there's a very weak piece of like balls of wood here, very weak piece of wood, and you keep on pushing on it, and eventually it pops, and down we go. We full absorption of the order flow that's here. Sellers are still in control. We eat up all remaining buyers and come on down. It tells us two things. One, the sellers are still strong, and two, the buyers are still weak. There's no real demand here. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal this time around, because 43.99, which is right here, that is a macro support. That's the big bounce from August 18th. We have not seen this level since June prior to that. So the market sold all the way off from July into August. On August 18th, we bounced at 43.99. So the fact that we have now breached that 43.99 and the buyers have not defended yet is a big deal for the sellers. We fell below 43.99 and we're holding. If we saw, in terms of distribution and accumulation terminology that Nicole talks about, if this thing went like this off 43.99 first touch, that's not necessarily good for shorts until we start to see the phase back down, because that means that they have to rotate back upwards, accumulate more inventory, and then roll this thing back down. So the fact that they are holding under this level, it's a good sign for the sellers. So now, can we have that move into the end of the day? Sure, we could. Yeah, because on the flip side, the sellers have not yet transacted through this thing. They're still holding on this level. We've been in what, a 7-point range for 4 hours now? It's just terrible. So what price would get us through the demand? We are inside demand right now. And I don't know what that price would be. You'll know the price when you get that big waterfall candle. So you see this candle right here? When we exit this consolidation, if it's a candle like that to the downside, you'll know that we've completely absorbed demand. If we just trickle on through it, we're still in demand, because what is trickling price action? What does this trickling price action mean? That means the buyers are still there. They're still hitting, even if a little bit. So until you get a candle like this, we are still inside of that demand where there's order flow, enough order flow present to hold the market up. It's not until you get the big waterfall candle, this thing right here. So let's see if I can mimic that. There you go. When you see that, that's when you know you exited the demand, and you're now time to start moving on down. And that's when you'll get to the next auction house. You'll conduct the next auction to get down into the next demand, figure out where that is. And you won't know that until you start consolidating again. The shorter the consolidation, the weaker the demand. The larger the consolidation, the more time you spend in consolidation, the stronger the demand. And then, of course, if it doesn't do consolidation at all, if it does a one-tap V recovery, you know how aggressive that demand actually is. That'd be the biggest of demand if it tapped and rocketed, which we're not getting now. So I know that this demand is not particularly strong, which is good for the sell side. Not to mention, Bookmap, this is the Bookmap stream, Bookmap is showing liquidity all the way down to 43.75. Now, this could be tomorrow's liquidity, sure. But that's why we have to do a lot of analysis here. We have to look at XLF, which finally broke below 34.05 and is now going a little bit green. And bonds are still holding under 91. The only thing really keeping this market from waterfalling is freaking tech. They're turning on the plunge protection team to save this market, and they picked today to do it on purpose. And that's my tinfoil hat theory. They just so happened to post AI news on Microsoft today, out of all days, and Microsoft is once again rocketing. But that's the market we're in. And all this is just order flow 101. This is understanding the market. And it's not, the market is not a bunch of red and green candles. The market is order flow. And we analyze it with red and green candles. But don't get caught up in the visual nature of this crap. You have to think about what's actually happened behind the hamster wheel here. Anyway, that is the strongest move by the buyers in a while. Can they hold the candle? We have 3 minutes till this 5-minute candle closes. Let's see if they can hold it. That's a 5-minute chart. I'm going to come over. That's a 15-minute chart. I'm going to come to the 5. By the way, you see this pretty little line that it's using as resistance the entire day? Bam, 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 bam. That's the 50 simple moving average. That typically, on longer time frames, typically works as a great flipping point for a trend. So if they were to take out this 50, then you can possibly look for a move for 44.18. Now I will have to say, Grasshopper, although we're not getting volume spikes, although we're not getting a lot of big bottom wicks that are holding, what are we getting? What has changed? Look at that. So I'll give the buyers this, is that although the volume's very light, although we haven't had any spikes, although we're not really holding a lot of big bottom wicks, they have flipped a majority of the volume is green. So look at all the red candles here, and look at all the green candles here. So, yeah, it does look like a bit of seller's exhaustion. Yeah. And we haven't had any real retracements. We had this guy, but that was quickly dissipated. And we haven't had a real retracement in many hours. Get a little more green coming on here. Happy with holding some low side position size. Nice. Nice, Kennedy. All right, so we have a little green here. That's about a 9-point move up so far, and the buyers are holding these candles. I don't know. It's either that or jabronis, one of the two. Nice, Grasshopper. In summary, this is crappy price action. A-firm. That's correct, John. So now the thought needs to go through your head. Is this time to make a move back up to 44.18? Because this is the strongest move by the buyers since the opening bell. 4 candles in a row that are higher than the last. We have a uptick in volume, although not high volume. It's still an uptick. Into this move, we've finally taken out the 50 simple moving average. Apple's turning up hard. VIX is making the strongest move down it's been in a while. Is this the first time that the buyers can make a move back up? Pop it up, still. Yeah, the resiliency in tech is showing its hand here. It's saving the day. 43.63 is SPX currently. And that right there was a 13-point bounce on ES. Now, in addition to that, of course, we do have the trend line right here. Just turned my day green with that move. Nice gold tender. Nice. $44.04. Now we have a volume spike, but the volume spike only occurs with a top wick. So still, the only time we indicate a volume spike is when the sellers hit. Now let's dive down to see. And that's where that comes from. That big red candle right there. That's where that came from. Did you catch any plays since yesterday's stream? Yep. A bunch of plays. Yeah, I locked in, what is that? 300 and 400%? Would have been a lot more if I would have held to the end of the day, but I got my stops tripped. My trailing stops tripped. What's that green line on the chart? I just put that. That's the trend line from this morning. I just popped a trend line on there. All right, so we get a nice little volume spike here. Coming up here. I'm going to go over and look at the data, GEX data, which honestly today's GEX data has been difficult to read because other than knowing that we're in negative GEX collectively, we are so far below the max exposure that there's not too much to go off of here. We're well below. All these puts are well in the money, which does tip its hand to some buyer's relief tomorrow. So although my thesis on Sunday was red after FOMC into the end of the week, we've had so much red that it could tip its hand to a possible relief tomorrow. Just to decay some puts. $4.25 and $4.40. Premiums at the money are about $5 to $7, and they're equally priced between the two, puts and calls. IV is 21%. VIX is rolling off there for the first time today. And XLF still can't hold under 34.05. Kill the VIX volatility set or VIX setup? Yeah, possibly. Possibly. Today's close will tell us a lot. For sure. Looking at the 15-minute, how would you interpret the volume on that last candle? Well, I typically don't want to see a high volume spike after the move has already occurred. That tells me opposing parties hitting. I want to see the high volume candle typically on the higher time frame charts. It could happen on the lower time frame charts because it's a couple of different ways to look at it. But the higher time frame charts, I don't want to see it this late. Because that tells us we hit some sort of, the opposing party is hit. So right now we have the highest volume candle we've had since 10:15, 9:15 Central. And if you go down to the 1, you see that the sellers hit there. Sell, sell, sell. That's why it's a high volume spike. Because intertwined with all the buying, we have sellers. Ah, crap. I have to take a quick phone call. 1 second. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. I had to take a call. He called me right when I got on the stream here. So yeah, didn't miss much. We're still consolidating at 44.05, which is where we consolidated for a little bit this morning before moving, and now we're waiting. So we have liquidity 44.10. The buyers are still holding volume. We have 44. XLF popped back up to 34.12 and holding. Microsoft is coming back down. Red candles. Apple's going back up. Green candles. What's oil doing today? They're bouncing back up after a little bit of a choppy. Overall, I'm just looking to see if, oh man, healthcare went freaking crazy. Big green. On the 15-minute, we have two huge buy volumes, but so far it's a top wick. Is this a bull trap? Not huge volume, but we have one uptick volume at the 13:15 15-minute candle. So at 13:15, we have an increase in volume. It still doesn't match the volume of the morning session or any of that stuff, but it is an uptick. And immediately met by top wick, and now we have a doji. So far, we don't have any prolonged buy pressure. But we also don't have sell pressure meeting this either. So the confirmation candle is showing that it's holding at least, and we have liquidity up to 44.10. So my guess here is that a typical bull retracement after a lot of weakness. We had seller's exhaustion at the bottom, as indicated by the volume. I don't think this is accumulation. It was just simply seller's exhaustion, where the buyers were defending the 4,400 area, and now they're kind of transacting this thing back higher. Overall, not that great of a day in terms of movement. It's been very slow and disappointing considering the fun that we had in pre-market. I was looking for a good mover today, but that's what happens when they try to save the market by posting, some tech news while everything else is dropping. You get that huge cross current, which causes choppy action. That's the hard part. I did not think today was going to be a chop fest. Yeah, I do agree. We'll have we should get some movement at the top of the hour. 2 o'clock typically gives us some oomph. And another top wick. Here, not moving. Bookmap doesn't have much else different. We have the 44.10, 43.90. CVD has popped up to 5,700. So yeah. Another top wick. So we have 3 top wicks in a row on the 5-minute. We have a doji and 3 top wicks showing that the buyers can't get above it. 44.06 is also the 5-minute POC. Top wick on Microsoft, they're still coming off a little bit. You're welcome, Casey. Thanks for being here. Yeah, overall, definitely a disappointing day. 100%. Definitely a disappointing day. When we get a bull trend, this thing rockets 300 points. But when we get a nice, strong bear trend, we just don't move. And it's because of the resiliency in this market. Even with the yields, the treasuries, the rate hikes, everything just kind of going over. Just doesn't want to go. Until, at least not yet. We still have a lot of week left. And we still have a lot of month left. But those fun waterfall days we had in 2022, we don't get nowadays. Another top wick holding right here. Microsoft coming back down. $44.05 still holding. Cisco makes largest ever acquisition buying cybersecurity company. Splunk for $157 a share, $28 billion. Green candles. All right, can they breach through? Is this going to be a fifth top wick or a fourth top wick with the doji? TradingView script that allows you to paste the SR levels. A firm. There you go. You're welcome. Did I take any trades today? Yep, took a bunch. What was for lunch? Protein shake. Another top wick. I knew you knew that Greek word. I was using context. I was hoping that was the word. But yeah. Someone opened $22,000 and 127 calls the day before. Oh yeah, that was definitely Pelosi. I was on a loss because I didn't hold long enough. Well, today I entered early and made 35%. Decided to hold everything. Pointed to a strong downtrend. It never happened. I had to accept 5% profit. That's the way it works, man. That's the way it works. I got stopped out at $30 for those contracts, and they went up to $50 because it stopped me out and went down. So it cost me thousands of dollars. My trailing stop did today. It's just the way it works. It's criminal for any of us, sir, to gain. Oh yeah, absolutely. What's the net worth of Congress? It's like 1.9 billion or something like that. And yet their salaries are 127, 170 a year, 170,000 a year. Good stuff. But we'll never do anything about it. We'll complain and moan and vote and post on Twitter and Facebook about the injustices, and we'll never do anything about it. All right, top wick. So that's 5 top wicks in a row, 4 top wicks in a doji. Weakness right here. Apple's flat, XLF coming back off. I was manually adding those SR. Yeah, I did too until Bob created that created those levels, that indicator for me. $44.03. Apple bottom wicked. Microsoft is trickling downward. We do have an increase in sell volume there. Meta? What's Meta doing? Ho! Meta skyrocketed. Yeah, tech saved the markets completely. Oh man. Man, what a garbage price action that is. It's terrible. Still think a low of day has not been hit. I mean, I'm not seeing strength here. We'll see. We're smack dab in the middle of the range here. Well, not even. We're at the bottom of the range. And all I'm seeing is weakness. Top wick, top wick, top wick, top wick. And sell pressure. So this looks like a little buy off the bottom here. It's a sucky price action. That none of this has gone how I wanted it to. I was definitely looking for pressure, which we got. We got sell, sell, sell to complete the downward trend. We finally broke through that downward trend, and weak volume here. But yeah, you're welcome, Spy Guy. Jabroni. Is that VWAP indicator? That's the 50 simple moving average. Google's spokesperson said AVGO news was a rumor. Lots of AVGO shorts need to cover. Cover. Brings back, hearing that word brings back basic training. They're getting pummeled, man. Let me see. They are coming back up, though. 817. Interesting. So got some pretty dang big buy candles. That's for sure. Might be positioning for the BOJ bomb tonight. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Another top wick. BOJ, Bank of Japan. So why didn't the market like J Powell's speech if that's what they expected? Because that's not what they expected. The rate hike is what they expected. The speech was not what they expected. And J Powell coming out and basically saying, we'll continue to hike as needed. We're going to look at 2 hikes remaining, at least. One in 2023, one in 2024. That the soft landing strategy is obviously out the window. So he's no longer anticipating a soft landing, which we already knew. And that dot chart. So he was definitely hawkish, and I don't think people anticipated him being that hawkish, especially people that think we're still in a bull market. And it spooked everybody. Got yourself a pocket bulldog. Is that like a tiny bulldog? Hard landing seems imminent? Probably, yeah. Sparta. 44.11 is the top liquidity here. 4,400, and we're just chilling. Take a look at the GEX data. Coming up on the top of the hour too, which is where we anticipate to have a move. If I were going to take a trade, I would wait until then to know what the move is, unless you just want to put on a low cost speculation play. But see where 2 o'clock is going to break, and then position yourself. Save yourself a little frustration. This is garbage price action. $9.21. 435 is a collective GEX today on the 0 DTE term. Curious to see what the next aid package is going to look like. I don't know. They did just announce it's going to cost another $100 billion to fund the Ukraine war, though, in addition to the 160 we've already spent. So that's fun. Price actions to wear us out. Yeah. Look at that. Another top wick. Top wick, top wick, top wick, top wick, top wick, top wick. Apple's a little bit red. I don't have much analysis for you here except for to be patient. I don't really want to get in the habit of speculating with any kind of real money. Liquidity says that the skew is certainly lower. That doesn't mean we can't grab the 44.20. Not to mention we have this jabroni, 14,800, which is one of the largest NASDAQ levels I've seen in many, many months. Not trading the big 20-point range on NASDAQ? Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if that's going to happen tomorrow or next week, but that's a big old level on NASDAQ. I went to war in Afghan, saw how much BS it really was. I didn't know you were a veteran, Dan. If I did, I apologize. Thanks for your service. I assume Canadian military? Yeah, you might have. I kid. I know a lot of people say it, so I apologize. But yeah, appreciate your service. Just messing. Afghan tour, 6 months, 2010. Yeah. Oh, you're in the heat of it too. I got a lot to say about that war, and everything I've learned being over there. I won't talk about it here though. $44.04. Okay, okay. Save it for off-topic podcast. Yeah, definitely. Where's the open interest today? 921. 441 What happened to the 4,500 from yesterday? Where this 1,200 iceberg was? Just removed? Yeah, I guess they just removed it. It never filled. Nah, I'd rather not prison Mike. No. I wish we could have responsible conversation around that stuff, but I don't think that's no longer possible in this day and age. All right, a little bit of red. Creeping on down. There's just kind of a little bit of slightly lower bottom wick, top wick. Well, we got 4 minutes left to end the stream. Wish we had some better price action here, but unfortunately, we don't. So. A little bit more red. Does ES have equal liquidity higher and lower? No. They're skewed to the downside here. They have liquidity 43, 50, 65, 75, 80, 81, 84, 89, and 90. And they've got these two levels. That's it. 44.20 and 44.10. Choppy, very choppy. They just removed the 44.20 as well. Interesting. The VIX is starting to creep back up here. I wonder what we're doing. $44.02. So far, bottom wick. Flip back to green, 44.03. Bottom wick and top wick. We have the top of the hour coming out in 2 minutes. They removed the 44.20. They've removed the 44.10. So they removed all the upper stuff we were looking at is gone. And they still have everything lower. Interesting. However, XLF is still going up. Apple is still going up. Microsoft is still going up. VIX is 1569 and going green, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. No movement. If all those things are going up, I'm going to stop that on my put. Well, we'll see. We have some conflicting stuff here. Liquidity is lower and skewed to heavy lower now, especially since I rolled off all this upward stuff. They took off all the upward liquidity. It's all lower, but we have a couple of names. Well, Apple just top wicked and flipped red. So Apple was going up, but they just flipped it back to red. So we'll see. We have the top of the hour in 30 seconds, and we'll know a little bit more about what's going to happen. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. 44.03. There's the top of the hour. So far it's small green. 44.03. All right, y'all. Unfortunately, I do have to end the stream there. That's my allotted 1 hour from our Bookmap afternoon stream. Sorry we didn't get much going on. Crappy price action. Join us back tomorrow or next Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time for another Bookmap stream. So love y'all. Appreciate you joining.